लास्ट टाइम 200 मारे थे इसलिए
कम
इम्प्रूवमेंट
हो
हो
गया है जी।
ये बिल्कुल गलत है। अपनी सेटिस्फेक्शन के लिए अपने एक प्रोपेगेंडा पॉइंट के लिए कह रहे हैं कि साहब देखिए हमने कश्मीर में शांति की तरफ 3-4 और कदम ले लिए हैं। मेरा ख्याल कश्मीर में रास्ता गलत है।
गलत रास्ता
200 मारना था वहाँ। हमें सही रास्ता अभी तक नहीं
क्या सही रास्ता है आपके नजर में?
सही रास्ता है कि जब तक मिलिटेंसी खत्म नहीं होती आपकी कड़ाई खत्म नहीं होनी चाहिए, बल्कि और सख्त होनी चाहिए।
मतलब आप ट्रुप्स विड्रॉल के फेवर में तो नहीं है कहीं?
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं, बल्कि और ट्रूप्स भेजिए जब तक इंसिडेंट्स खत्म नहीं होते हैं। और सभी जो जितने भी टेररिस्ट हैं जिन्होंने अमेरिका यूरोप में कुछ
जो भी
किया है
टेररिस्ट एक्टिविटीज हुई हैं,
उनका जो
बेस है।
निशानात हैं वो पाकिस्तान में मिले हैं, किसी ना किसी तरीके से पाकिस्तान से जुड़ा है। इट इज द मदर ऑफ ऑल टेररिज्म विच
लेकिन सर अब तो हिंदुस्तान की सरकार भी पाकिस्तान को विक्टिम ऑफ टेररिज्म मानने लगी है।
विक्टिम ऑफ टेररिज्म दिल को बहलाने के लिए गालिब ये ख्याल अच्छा है। नहीं, दैट्स नॉट करेक्ट।
क्या हिंदुस्तान में भी ऐसे वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट हैं जो कश्मीर में आतंकवाद को पनपने दे रहे हैं?
बिल्कुल।
कौन?
हमारे देश में एक स्टैंडिंग अबाइडिंग वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट है जो अ, इन जो टेररिज्म फैलाते हैं, किसी किस्म का टेररिज्म, उसके साथ जुड़े।
आप कह रहे हैं कि जम्मू कश्मीर की सरकार और केंद्र सरकार दोनों की पॉलिटिकल विल नहीं है टेररिज्म को खत्म करने की कश्मीर में?
बिल्कुल नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं, कोई ना कोई बहाना बना देते हैं, फिर शुरू हो जाता है, फिर कम हो जाता है, फिर कहते कम गया।
लेकिन आपको नहीं लगता जो सरकार कह रही थी कि एक डेमोक्रेटिक प्रोसेस से वहां पर टेररिज्म कम होगा, ऐसा नहीं है कि वहां पे इलेक्शन करवाए गए, विधानसभा हुई?
अभी तक तो कहीं भी डेमोक्रेटिक प्रोसेस से कम नहीं हुआ। इट इज प्रॉक्सी वॉर बीइंग लॉन्च्ड बाय पाकिस्तान।
Juba.com.
Namaskar, hello, and welcome to this very special commemoration. Today we are remembering Gill Sahab, the Paramount Cop who saved the Indian Union. आज हम उनकी पुण्यतिथि पर गिल साहब को नमन करते हैं, and the person who was so very successful in highlighting the entire terrorism, the Khalistani terrorism from the face of Punjab and save the इंडियन यूनियन। और गिल साहब का जो पूरा कृतित्व और उनका युगांतरकारी व्यक्तित्व आज के इस पोस्ट पहलगांव और ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के तत्वाधान में काफ़ी कुछ इट गेट्स सो वेरी कंटेम्प्रेरी, इट गेट्स सो वेरी relevant, and that is what makes his personality, his life so very pertinent to remember. And at Rethink India, we cherish to remember Gill Sahab, the Paramount Cop, who played a key role in preserving the Indian Union. जब 1984 में when the Khalistani insurgency has taken over the food bowl of the country. So सो वी हैव अ वेरी शॉर्ट प्रेजेंटेशन। और अभी हम लोग शुरुआत में गिल साहब की ही आवाज़ में सुन रहे थे व्हेन ही विदाउट मिंसिंग एनी वर्ड्स ही वाज अनइक्विवोकल इन सेइंग दैट पाकिस्तान इज़ द मदर ऑफ टेररिज्म। एंड गिल साहब का यह जो उक्ति है, व्हाट यू कैन सी ऑन योर स्क्रीन्स, it is only through the complete and surgical isolation of the extremist element within Islamic nations and societies that a way can be found out of the tidal wave of terror and hatred that is being built up. And so this is Kanwar Pal Singh Sahab, who passed away on 26th of May 2017. He was born on 29 December 1934. He's credited with breaking the backbone of Khalistani terrorism in Punjab and finally eliminating it. And we all know a lot about the 1984 Operation Blue Star, but very little of us know about the Operation Black Thunder, which happened in May 1988 to flush out militants which were hiding in the Golden Temple at Amritsar. And the operation was hugely successful as little damage was caused to the holiest shrine of Sikhs compared to Operation Blue Star of 1984, which was carried out by the Indian Army. Gill Sahab was the author of, he was a paramount intellectual of his own times, and we can say he was the of Punjab, the Knights of Falsehood, Terror and Containment, Perspectives on India's Internal Security, the global threat of terror, ideological, material, and political linkages. Most Wanted. Then one of his books is The Punjab Story and Islam and Religious Riots, a case study, Riots and Wrongs. And then a Punjabi book, Kur Fire Pradhan, and Punjab, the enemies within, travails of a wounded land riddled with toxins. So these are some of the works of Gill Sahab. Uh, a very, I would say, in his just a moment. Yeah. So, just to give a comparison about his great contribution to the Indian Union, as what Rethink India would like to really accord it to him, that he was the paramount cop who played a key role in preserving the Indian Union. There is a parallel from the United States of America that in 1860s, when the Civil War was on in USA, General Ulysses S. Grant played a major role in preserving the Union. Soon thereafter, the Americans elected Grant as their 18th president. So in the 1990s, KPS Gill played a similar role in preserving the Indian Union. But alas, we even remember him for his great contributions, what he played out there. And I personally had the great good opportunity of meeting Gill Sahab, and in that small interaction, because after his, I would say, retirements and all, he mentioned that Prime Minister Narsimha Rao was so very critical in rooting out terrorism in Punjab, whatever time he got. Whenever he was traversing from Chandigarh, he made it a point to meet the top police leadership and gave a free hand to root out the Khalistani terrorism from the face of the land of five rivers. So Mahatma Gandhi was Gill Sahab's role model, and he practiced non-violence while in school and college. But destiny landed him uh, uh, amidst troubled times and bestowed him with the task of fighting for his country with an iron hand. In his career as an officer of the Indian Police Service, spanning over almost 4 decades, Gill Sahab epitomized honesty, unwavering courage, unbeatable intelligence, and uncompromising patriotism. And we can say so that he thus became the greatest police officer to have walked on this planet. And in his remembrance, Rethink India would be felicitating plethora, a galaxy of police officers in his footsteps who have epitomized honesty, unwavering courage, unbeatable intelligence, and uncompromising patriotism on his birthday on 29th of December this year. And so, going to his early life and education, he was born on December 29th, 1934, in Ludhiana, Punjab, British India, into a Jat Sikh family. His father, Rashpal Singh Gill, He was a civil engineer involved in major projects like the Bhakra Nangal Dam, and his mother was Amrit Kaur. Gill Sahab studied at the St. Vincent School, Missouri, and later earned a degree in English from the Punjab University. As a 12-year-old during the 1947 partition, Gill faced the trauma of communal tension in Lahore,
मेरा ये
where his mother gave him two swords to protect his family, profoundly shaping his views on security and vulnerability. So one of the very strong quotes of Gill Sahab, because he is a kind of an authority on rooting out terrorism from its genesis. What we all heard, the terrorist speech of General Munir, Asim Munir on 16th of April. I think Gill Sahab has an antidote to what the ideology of terrorism is all about. So he says that the entire civilized world, the word that has been painstakingly claimed by liberal democracy, must now accept the inescapable and inevitable truth that there can be no compromise with terrorism or its perpetrators. This is a lesson that India must also learn in its fruitless and suicidal quest for a negotiated solution
ठीक है रहने
with
दो
mass murderers or with their state sponsors in Pakistan. The world must understand equally that there is no geographical locus of terror. Yeah, there was some connectivity issue. We'll just resume it all over again. Just a moment.
मेरा भी फोन चेंज हो गया ना, अब सब चीजें दोबारा से मुझे करनी पड़ गई हैं।
इसमें से कर लो
लो,
इसमें जूम है
ऐसे फुर्सत नहीं है। अच्छा,
Yeah. Again, sorry, there is some connectivity issue, some technical issue. Just a moment. Yes. Yeah. So, sorry. So, The next is KPS career in the IPS. It rhymes so very well. So Kanwar Pal Singh Sahab, he joined the IPS in 1958, very early batches of the Indian Police Service. He was assigned the Assam Meghalaya cadre to start with. As we all know that all our central services, all India services have got state cadres for that matter. And then he served in the Northeast India for almost 28 years, including being the Inspector General of Police in Assam in the early 1980s. And he was known for his no nonsense approach, and he was accused of kicking a demonstrator to death in Assam but was acquitted by the Delhi High Court. So in policing, when you have a heavy hand, all kind of controversies keep on emerging, but then that is the occupational hazard, we can say so. Then he was transferred to Punjab in 1984 in the post-Sikh pogrom, when at the highest level of ministry it was thought that only a Sikh police officer can rein in the kind of challenge what the post-Operation Blue Star Sikh, I would say, insurgency would bring it about. And then he served as the DGP of police twice from 1988 to 1990, and then 1991 to 1995. 1991 to 1995 under the, I would say, guardianship of Prime Minister Narasimha Rao, who was quite very critical in highlighting the terror theater of Punjab. That is something which we know less of, but that is what the kind of a support what DGP Punjab got. And then he led the Operation Black Thunder. We just read about it. He led this operation to flush out Sikh militants from the Golden Temple in Amritsar, minimizing the damage compared to the Operation Blue Star of 1984. And around 67 militants surrendered, and 43 were killed as a part of the Operation Black Thunder. And the operation was notable for allowing media coverage and cutting off electricity and water to force surrender. And just to note it that this was done under the prime ministership of Rajiv Gandhi, who also became a victim of terror mongering on 21st of May 1991. So in his prime ministership in 1988, this Operation Black Thunder was there. So India has been a victim of terrorism for quite a longer epoch before the Western world actually felt it across. And if we go into the civilizational spectrum, perhaps the thousand odd years of a kind of a warfare which Indians have witnessed and perhaps rebutted all through. And that's what we can see in Gill Sahab's strong, I would say, rebuttals of the ideological genesis of terrorism. And Gill Sahab was involved in counter-insurgency. He is credited with significantly reducing militancy in Punjab. And by 1993, deaths dropped from 5,000 in 1991 to 500, the killings by the militants. It was largely due to his aggressive strategies. And Gill Sahab retired from the IPS in the year 1995. Yet another very strong quote from Gill Sahab, that if we seek a true victory, we must defeat the fundamentalist ideologies that threaten to plunge the entire region into a conflagration that may well destroy us all. He goes on to say that the greater war that we must now engage in is the war for the minds of man. And perhaps that was what Asim Munir, the general of Pakistani army, on 16th of April, which in a way all the security experts, they feel that it led to the Pahalgaon massacre, where he enunciated his idea of the Kalma Rashtra. And perhaps what Gill Sahab has mentioned, that the greater war that we must now engage is in the war for the minds of men. And some of his key achievements, if we can see so, his Punjab insurgency, his strategies, including intelligence networks and a bounty system for police to eliminate militants, were instrumental in dismantling the Khalistani movement. His leadership restored stability and which earned him the Padma Shri in 1989. He went on to advise on security matters post retirements and advised governments on counter terrorism. He was appointed as the security advisor to Gujarat, the then Gujarat Chief Minister Narendra Modi, in 2002 to manage post-right tensions. And incidentally, Gill Sahab's Punyatithi is also the oath ceremony of the 14th Prime Minister, Narendra Modi ji's oath as the 14th Prime Minister of India. And Gill Sahab advised Sri Lanka on countering LTT militancy in the year 2000 and Chhattisgarh on Naxalite issues in 2006. And he founded the Institute for Conflict Management in 1995 post his retirement from the IPS, serving as its president and publishing the Fault Lines Journal. And he has been a voracious writer and author, and he authored The Knights of Falsehood in 1997, critiquing the misuse of Sikh religious institutions during the Punjab insurgency. So, yet another power packed quote from Gill Sahab, that terrorism and its executioners have their own agenda, entirely independent of the popular will, of democratic considerations or institutions, or of the aspirations and desires of the community they claim to represent. They are defeated not by the operation of some mystical force called popular will, but by the force of arms, and something which the valiant Indian Army showed in a very short Operation Sindoor, that what all they can achieve by the collective might of the Indian arms, for that matter. And their activities are not some convenient substitute for the ballot box. They are an absolute rejection of every value integral to democracy. So, a man of arms and man of firm clarity and conviction, and that's what Gill Sahab could eliminate the terrorism from the face of Punjab, and he saved the union for that matter. And his personal life, he married Heminder Kaur ma'am in 1959. Perhaps 1 year just after his joining the IPS, he had a son and a daughter. And Heminder Kaur ma'am defended his legacy despite all criticism from the woke West about the liberalism debates and all that, so and so forth. Because only till late in 2001, the United States of America faced the wrath of terrorism when its World Trade Center, they were attacked by the terrorist networks there. So she labels accorded to him, like the butchers and all. So that is what the support of a spouse, I would say, comes so well into the play. And Gill Saab's interest, his love for English and Urdu poetry, and he was described as cultured, a cultured one outside his police role. And he died on May 26th. Today in 2017, we are commemorating his ninth Punyatithi due to cardiac arrest following kidney failure and peritonitis. But then a very legendary life, the Paramount policeman, the Paramount Cop of India, who saved the Union. And the legacy, what he is known for, would be known for, and perhaps his temporality, his pertinence has come all of a sudden on the national landscape, on the national mindscape, we can say so, because his firm clarity on what the accurate diagnosis. I think Dr. Surbi would agree that what leads to the entire doctrine of terror, and we would really urge our viewers and those who would be engaging with this engagement around Gill Sahab, that the Asim Munir's speech of 16th April, I think that is something which tells that how fundamentalist ideologies are provoked, and then it is weaponized to slay innocent civilians, to perpetrate terror. And the approach what Gill Sahab in his aphorisms, in his quotes, he has very unequivocally said that it is just the force of arms which these mercenaries understand. And his legacy, his supporters hail him as a hero for saving Punjab from insurgency, with admirers like former Raw Chief A.S. Daulat, who called him as a man with a heart of gold. And his leadership inspired police morale, and it shaped counter-insurgency tactics. His critics, obviously, you will have two sides of the same coin, and we feel that it is pertinent to mention the critics also, and then a rejoinder for that. They vilified by some, particularly in Sikh communities, for alleged human rights abuses, and as we just read about that, he was given some unceremonious terms, but then that was all necessary to save the larger land from insurgency, for that matter. And upon his death, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, 2017, they mourned him, emphasizing his momentous contributions to national security. So this was a short introduction, a short tribute to the Paramount Cop, Gill Sahab. And at Rethink India Institute, we really pay our humble obeisances to this departed soul, and let his spirit thrive, and let his spirit guide us in our civilizational war, in our civilizational struggle against terror. Because Operation Sindoor was an armed conflict, but until or unless the 1.5 billion humanity of India, which has witnessed terrorism right from 632 AD, for that matter, the valiant resistance of our warriors from Sindh onwards, as has been documented by legendary scholars like Goyal and others, that India has been a victim of this ideological Islamic terror for over a millennium now. And in its new avatar, Government of India has sent, I would say, emissaries across the globe to put forth the Indic view. And as very many scholars say, that India has always waged peace globally, as some of the perpetrators and invaders have waged war on the face of the globe. So perhaps in a way, the 2025 geostrategic climate, which is enduring conflicts on almost all possible borders, and the kind of geo-economic power play which is happening, perhaps the insider national security coming out from Gill Sahab, and what he has talked is that it is only through the complete and surgical isolation of the extremist element within Islamic nations and societies that a way can be found out of the tidal wave of terror and hatred that is being built up. So, Rethink India would be commemorating, will be felicitating a host, a galaxy of, I would say, police officers who have epitomized honesty, unwavering courage, unbeatable intelligence, and uncompromising patriotism, marking Gill Saab's birthday on 29th of December. With this, we close this commemoration. We remember Gill Saab all over again, and perhaps I would invite Dr. Surbhi to say a few words before closing this session.
My pranam to one and all. I think this is a very momentous occasion for the country, for the nation, when our country stands in mourning for the Pahalgaon terror incidents, and this commemoration, this austere moment, when we are, rendering our deep, commemoration on this very very pious occasion of the Punyatithi of Sir KPS Gill, is something which bolsters the patriotic spirit on the footsteps of Gill Sahab. So I think it is a moment to stand and salute our warriors, the police officers who are so incessantly. I'm reminded of so many other valiant police officers whom I would not name at this austere and very pious moment when we are remembering Sir KPS Gill ji. And this is something, since I have been a school student at Delhi Public School, RK Puram, whose principal, Madam Padam Shri Shama Chona Madam, always used to guide us and inspire us about, the valiant and courageous personalities of the world globally. And somewhere on the global map, KPS Gill Sir stands, like a lion. And I think we are all proud of such a lion. And salutations to the police officer in Sir KPS Gill Sahab. And this broadcast is a remembrance and a salutation to his great being and persona. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Surbi. And with this, we close this session, and we keep continuing this commemoration, this deliberation. And somewhere or the other, this is a kind of educational space also, whereby we have to educate our young learners all across from post primary to postdoctoral levels about the genesis of terrorism, because it is orchestrated in all eclectic avatars. And obviously, when it comes to terrorism, the kind of geostrategic implications as to how terrorism is used as a state policy, how rogue states are sponsored and supported by the geostrategic power players to meet their bigger ends. I think with that kind of an understanding, with that kind of inroads in each and every Indian, I think then only we can achieve the goal of Divya Bhavya Samradh Bharat, the Vikasit Bharat, what Prime Minister Modi has been drumming, trumpeting the wave of it. He is urging the entire nation to stand up to achieve the dream of Viksit Bharat. And it is quite such a momentous occasion that India has surpassed now Japan in being the fourth largest economy of the world. We have crossed, yes, there are considerations, there are concerns of inequity and all, but at least on the absolute plane, India is achieving, India is emerging on the global forefront. What was India's rightful share in the Committee of Nations before the British imperialized us? They took us, and what Dadabhai Naoroji talked about is that the drain of the Indian wealth, which happened, and no economic prosperity can happen in an atmosphere of terror. And perhaps we are so very grateful to the entire Indian Armed Forces community who came in an integral fashion and just destroyed the terror bastions and the termite of terror they would keep on annihilating in the cross borders and internally. I think super cops and paramount cops like KPS Gill Sahab, devoid of any euphemism, devoid of any nonsense talks, very plain, blank, simple firmness. They will root out these termites, and then only prosperity, peace, happiness, all these ennobling notions can thrive. War and peace, as they say, the classic Tolstoy thought process, they go hand in hand. That has been the integral compact of Bharat. We have not invaded anyone for that matter, but we have every right to defend ourselves. We have every right for self protection. And with this, we pay all over again our tributes to KPS Gill Sahab. Namaskar, Dhanyavad. Thank you so much.